we were drawn to a material that many Singaporeans may remember from older neighbourhood parks, which is the double bullnose brick. The idea was to abstract the feeling of being in a park and bring that atmosphere into the home. It's something that has slowly disappeared from the city, but it carries a quiet nostalgia. And we wanted to reinterpret that memory and bring it into the home in a new way. The home was designed for a couple who loved plants and cooking. They had been living in this home for many years, but over time, their growing plants began to take over the space. One sentence from the homeowner stayed with us. He said, "I love plants, but I don't wake up to them." That line became the starting point for the design, where nature wouldn't just be decoration, but a living presence woven into their everyday life. From the moment you step into the home, the space opens up quite gently. The material palette is warm and calm, and the indoor plant collection immediately becomes part of the spatial experience. The intention was to create a subtle feeling of being in a park, but still within the comfort of home. The living room sofa sits against a full-height brick wall. We were really interested in how this brick surface interacts with natural light throughout the day. As the sunlight moves through the space, the texture of the brick catches the light differently, depending on the angle and intensity. It's a small thing, but it brings a certain warmth and nostalgia to the space. As it goes to the dining area, the ledges and troughs for plants are positioned where the morning light enters the home. In the early hours, the space filled with gentle warm light, which brings a nice sense of openness and calm to the interior. The shelf behind the dining table is crafted from natural oak, a timber that pairs beautifully with ceramics and plants. It forms a generous backdrop to the dining area, while the slender steel supports add subtle moments of detail without competing with other elements in the space. The pendant light above the table was designed by us. It's made using oil painting paper, where we dampened the paper and pressed it into a timber fluted formwork. Once it's dried and released from the mold, the fluted form starts to take shape. Because the paper is not entirely opaque, it allows light to filter softly through the surface and gently illuminates the dining table. The kitchen occupies almost 1/3 of the home. This reflects the homeowner's love for cooking. It functions as a fully working kitchen, but remains visually open to the dining and study area, so that the home still feels connected. The backsplash uses handmade tiles from Italy. They are crafted using traditional wood-fired kilns with Etruscan clay, which creates subtle variations in tone and texture. For the island countertop, we chose Olivogrola limestone with a heavy brush finish. This highlights the natural fossils and shell fragments within the stone and gives it a tactile, rustic character that sits comfortably within the overall palette of the home. Cross ventilation was also important in this home, so we introduced glass louver windows in both the bedroom and vanity areas to improve natural airflow. Plants need more than just sunlight and water. Air movement helps with gas exchange and prevents mold and pests that often happen in stagnant environments. In designing a home that supports plant life, we realize it also benefits the people living here. Good ventilation, balanced humidity, and natural light create a healthier and more comfortable environment for both the plants and homeowners. The bedroom faces a full-height glass pane that looks towards a planting nook, which is visually connected to the kitchen. And the flooring here is engineered oak, which brings a warm and soft tone to the room. To make the space more efficient, the bathroom vanity is placed outside the enclosed bathroom. This frees up more room for the shower and toilet. The material palette remains simple and timeless, with classic subway tiles paired with rosso travertine, which introduces a warm terracotta red tone into the space. This project, which we named In a Park, was one of our earlier works where we began exploring the quiet strength of simple materials, carefully detailed. It reminded us that thoughtful design doesn't always require complexity. Sometimes the most meaningful ideas come from very ordinary things. We often look for subtle cues in everyday life. In this case, it was the memory of a neighbourhood park and the humble bullnose brick. By reinterpreting these familiar elements in a more sensitive way, older materials are allowed to express their more primitive qualities, and through honest construction, they take on a new life. For us, that's really meaningful.